A good evening to you, or is it? After days of speculation, President Uhuru Kenyatta has finally put us out of our suspense and delivered the new COVID-19 containment measures. We'll look at what those are. If you're wondering or you're looking for clarification, stay with NTV Weekend Edition. Here is what you can expect.
Tonight,
our rate of infection has gone up 10 times between January and March.
5 counties locked in, schools closed on the day KCSE kicked off, and more.
But all gatherings and in-person meetings of whatever nature are suspended within the counties of Nairobi, Kajiado, Machakos, Kiambu, and Nakuru.
The president gets his jab and part of the cabinet follows suit. And new directives, new headaches, new jitters over livelihoods.
So therefore, we feel as bar owners that the directives given by the president have directly affected liquor traders and have rubbed them shoulders in the wrong way.
Time frame raises uproar.
We don't have houses in Nairobi. We don't have anywhere we can stay in Nairobi. We live in hotels when we come here. How do we sustain ourselves here, honestly?
Wangeipunguza kidogo, wangeirudisha hadi saa 4 wangeacha. Ama kwa sababu hata mimi sioni hiyo curfew ikisaidia kitu yoyote kupunguza corona.
Also tonight, 5 elephants dead, more than 5,000 acres of forest burnt in Laikipia County. The British Army is facing the heat. One of its soldiers said he did it. UK government probing inferno situation. Plus, things fall apart. Cleo clearly knows it. Some swept the grounds. This one swept the fair agenda off her feet.
He didn't like traveling very much. He preferred to stay here at home.
Lost in translation at Magufuli's funeral, and maybe there is need for translation here. Or on a light note.
This is Weekend Edition with Olive Burrows.
We have a lot to get through in the next 1 hour, and with me through the ride is one David Agondoa. He is our sign language interpreter, and I'm sure you're quite familiar with him. As I said at the start, Kenya is once again going into a form of lockdown as the country battles to manage the rising cases of COVID infections and deaths. President Uhuru Kenyatta rolled out stringent measures in an effort to contain the lethal spread, and here is what they include. 5 counties account for 70% of the COVID infections, and the Kenyan government has declared them a disease-infected area as one block. That is the red zone on your screens. The counties in that zone are Nairobi County, which has recorded about 60% of the COVID infections, followed by Kajiado, Machakos, Kiambu, and Nakuru counties. There will be no movement into and out of that zone effective midnight tonight. All public gatherings and in-person meetings within this zone are also suspended, and the curfew will begin at the earlier hour of 8 p.m. within this zone, while the 10 p.m. curfew remains in the other 42 counties. Now, all congregational worship within this zone is also suspended, but not in the rest of the country, where a third the capacity of the facility is permitted. Bar operations within the disease-infected area are suspended. That is within Nairobi, Kajiado, Kiambu, as well as Nakuru County, as is the sale of alcohol in eateries, while restaurant services have been restricted to take away only, meaning you cannot go and sit down and have a meal with your family or your friends in those 5 counties. Now let's take a look, I beg your pardon, at the restrictions that apply across the board. And significantly, all physical learning has been suspended, including at universities and universities. But candidates are exempted from this rule, as are medical trainees. Sporting activities and the activities of members-only clubs, that includes your golf clubs, have also been suspended, and the justice system has been advised to eliminate non-essential physical contact. Visitors have been restricted to 2 per patient in hospital, and social gatherings in the rest of the country have been capped at 15 persons outside the disease-infected area. Remember that any social gathering within those 5 counties that are in the red zone are at the moment suspended. Burial rites have been restricted from 100-person maximum to 50 people, including those who are officiating. That is, if it's your pastor or your imam, they're included in that figure of 50. Wedding parties have been limited even further, again from 100 as announced 14 days ago to 30 people. I'm sure you're wondering, for how long are we going to be in this state? Well, for the foreseeable future. But President Uhuru Kenyatta has given us an inkling of when we can expect some reprieve. He tells us that the 3rd wave should flatten out in about mid-May. Well, speaking of COVID, let's listen to what President Uhuru Kenyatta had to say himself. And there has been a worrying surge in COVID-19 infections over the last 2 weeks. The recorded number of deaths per day has doubled in just 2 months, while health facilities have become congested with COVID-19 patients, with close to 1,000 of them in intensive care. NTV's Seth Olale explains further why the president introduced the stringent measures.
Many expected President Uhuru Kenyatta to take such drastic measures on COVID-19 so soon after his latest address to the nation.
I have been compelled by medical as well as empirical evidence to revise the measures that we took on March 12th of this year.
As of 21st March 2021, the confirmed number of COVID-19 cases reached 15,916 compared to 4,380 in January. COVID-19 positivity rate rose from 2.6% in January to the current 22%, meaning the infection rate has risen 10 times between January and March 2021.
Our rate of infection has gone up 10 times between January and March of 2021. Indeed, it is clear, and we have a clear indication of a new trend, that now Kenya is squarely in the grip of a 3rd wave of this pandemic.
Out of every 10 people who test positive to the disease in Kenya, 6 are from Nairobi County, making the capital the hardest hit. But even more worrying is the rising death rate from COVID. Between January and February, the disease was claiming 3 lives, but now 7 people are dying daily, the highest number since the pandemic hit the country last year. The number of people admitted to hospital as a result of COVID-19 across the country has risen to 7,630 from 4,990 patients in March 12th, meaning in just 13 days, the admission rate increased by 52%. In addition, there are 950 COVID patients in intensive care units needing oxygen compared to under 30 people who were admitted in the facilities in the month of February.
This confirms the fact that a 3rd wave of COVID-19 is at hand in Kenya. The positivity rate is the highest since the pandemic hit us last year. The death rate is devastating by all measures, and the stress that the pandemic is placing on our health system is unparalleled.
According to our health experts, the 3rd wave began to gain momentum at the beginning of March 2021 and is expected to peak in the next 30 days, with more than 2,500 to 3,000 cases expected to be reported daily. The peak is expected to flatten by mid-May 2021. Seth Olale, NTV.
So what is the COVID situation in the country as we speak? The number of people infected with COVID-19 continues to rise sharply. In the last 24 hours, 2,008 people have tested positive for the disease out of a sample size of 11,360, putting the country's positivity rate at 17.7%. The total number of cases now stands at 128,178. 6 deaths have been reported in the last 24 hours, all of which are late death reports that occurred on diverse dates. So far, 2,098 people have died from COVID-19. Another 245 have recovered, with the total recoveries now standing at 91,513. There are 1,192 people currently admitted in health facilities countrywide with COVID-19, and with 124 of those in ICU. These containment measures coming just 14 days after President Uhuru Kenyatta tightened restrictions have drawn mixed reactions. Many in the business community are not too happy, and Kenya's economy risks sliding back into recession if the government fails to provide relief measures such as tax cuts to accompany the newly announced lockdown measures. This is the consensus from stakeholders in the private sector, who say that the 15th presidential address on the coronavirus pandemic has left the business environment uneasy. Hotels are now grappling with multiple cancellations ahead of the Easter holiday, which would have been a high for them, and bars are left wondering how to clear stock and how to meet their costs amid suspended operations. Julian Zamboko is in the kitchen. He's preparing that report. I know KEPSA had advised that the curfew hours within the hotspots be revised, and that is exactly what has happened. But according to this report by Julian Zamboko, not everybody is on board with that, and not everybody is happy. We will also be hearing from residents across the country in a little bit, especially Nairobi, where they've been most impacted, and including the 4 other counties in the disease-infested area. President Uhuru Kenyatta and First Lady Margaret Kenyatta led a host of other leaders in receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. I think I saw the president flinch a little bit. The president directed all members of the cabinet and his executive to get the vaccine as a way of leading by example. Cabinet secretaries Fred Matiang'i, he was stoic. Mutahi Kagwe, Rachel Omamo were among the members of cabinet who underwent the inoculation. Other leaders who also took the shots include those from the religious circles, as well as other officials and media practitioners present. I did mention we'd be getting your views, the man on the street on the new restrictions, and here they are.
Bar owners have already been affected so much by those speeches, and without any justification, they have been ordered time and again to close their businesses. There is no reprieve for bar owners, especially when it comes to payments of rents. There was no address to the landlords on what should happen when the bars are closed, whether they should continue paying without operating, and the stocks that they have, whether the government will compensate when the stocks expire.
Imetufrustrate sisi kama wafanyakazi, hatujui mahali tunafaa kuelekea kutoka sasa, maana hatujatupatia hata muda wa kuweza kujua mtu ataweza kujipanga na landlord, mtu ataweza kufanya mambo yake kivipi, ama shopping mtu anaweza nunua kwa nyumba. Kwa hivyo tuko frustrated, na angeweza kupata nafasi ya kuweza kuongea na wananchi kwanza, hata ajue maoni yao na yale ambayo sisi tunapitia kama wafanyakazi. Kwanza ametufungia kazi na hatuna mahali pa kuelekea sasa.
I came to Nairobi for work. Baada ya hapo nikakuwa mgonjwa, nikakuwa hospitali. Nimetoka hospitali the day before yesterday. I was getting ready to travel back to Eldoret tomorrow, only for me to hear ya kwamba amefunga. Sasa mpaka inabidi nitafute njia nianze kukopa na kufanya nini tupate fare ya kurudi Eldoret. Why couldn't he have us in mind na afunge aseme kuanzia kesho ama kuanzia the day after tomorrow ama kuanzia Monday, apeane at least allowance ya watu wasafiri. We don't have houses in Nairobi. We don't have anywhere we can stay in Nairobi. We live in hotels when we come here. How do we sustain ourselves here, honestly?
Hii lockdown itatu affect hata kama wanajaribu kupunguza makali ya corona. Sisi kama wafanyabiashara kama mimi huwa nauza viatu kutoka Rongai. Itani affect kwa sababu sales zitaenda chini. Pia nayo hiyo wameongeza hiyo curfew kutoka saa 4 hadi wamepunguza hadi saa 2. Itatu affect kwa sababu sasa unaona tutakuwa tunafunga mapema, tuuze vizuri. So kwa yote nasema hata kama inatumiza ndio wangepunguza kidogo, wangerudisha hadi saa 4 wangeacha. Ama kwa sababu hata mimi sioni hiyo curfew ikisaidia kitu yote kupunguza corona.
Kuna mahali pengine ametufinyilia. Juu hiyo masaa ndio inakuanga tunafanya tisi kazi ndio tupata kitu kidogo. So president angetupatia hata muda kidogo, hata ile curfew ilikuwa ya saa 4, hiyo ilikuwa vizuri. That's why sisi tulikuwa tunaingia hapa ikifika saa 1 nusu saa 2 ama saa 3 tunaenda kwa nyumba. Tunatii sheria ya serikali.
I'm sure you've heard of a thing called opportunity cost. Therefore, when we have COVID-19 restrictions or the lockdown as we have it presently and the economy, when you weigh them, when you pick one side, the other suffers. Julian Zamboko tells us what the business community thinks of the decision that President Uhuru Kenyatta took this afternoon.
According to data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, out of every 100 shillings of economic output generated in Kenya, 37 shillings is attributable to the counties of Nairobi, Nakuru, Kiambu, Machakos, and Kajiado. Inevitably, the directive on cessation of movement affecting the 5 counties has rattled the business environment. Stakeholders in the tourism and hospitality industry feel particularly vulnerable to yet another shock just as the industry was beginning to recover.
The statement has caused actually more confusion than anything else, and for tourism is unfortunate. We have hundreds and hundreds of Kenyans who are stuck in many places around the country, from Diani to Lamu to Watamu, with children, and they're saying, what happens to me? I mean, I can't go back to Nairobi before midnight.
Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala has confirmed that Mamangina waterfront in Mombasa will be closed at midnight. The Bars, Hotels and Liquor Traders Association says that whereas its stakeholders in the affected counties will comply with the directive, its leadership will be engaging the government starting Monday in an effort to ease the restriction.
It's unfortunate. I know is going to really hit on our businesses. It's going to hurt on our businesses. So far, we are counting with the previous COVID issues. We are counting, we've lost 7,000 bars. So with this one, I know we may lose more. The end of this month is the due date for county government licenses. I think with what has happened, it's time for them to come on the table. We talk on the percentage of licenses that we're going to pay.
Our owners have already been affected so much by those pitches. And without any justification, they have been ordered time and again to close their businesses. There is no reprieve for bar owners, especially when it comes to payments of rents. There was no address to the landlords on what should happen when the bars are closed.
The Institute of Economic Affairs now says that President Uhuru Kenyatta's directive now risks sending the economy back into recession should the government fail to provide stimulus measures to ease the shock of the new restrictions.
But the thing that the president should have announced is I've asked the Treasury, working together with Parliament and the Ministry of Health to make sure that, one, we can line up more vaccines so that we can bring forward the vaccination numbers. But in the meantime, whatever cuts that needed to be made would actually have been more modest than what I think has happened.
Stakeholders are now worried that with the minimum tax having taken effect on January 1st, majority of businesses unable to cope will have to shut down operations to stave off higher tax liabilities in the months ahead, and others may have to go back to retrenchment and salary deduction to stay afloat. Julians Amboko, NTV.
Pertinent questions raised in that report by Julian Zaboko. He is our business editor, so you can expect nothing less. And those business persons are asking President Uhuru Kenyatta, what about accompanying tax relief measures? We also heard from Kenyans who are of the view that President Uhuru Kenyatta should have given them more advance notice before closing down, or rather locking down, the 5 hotspot counties. As we mentioned at the top, they account for 70% of the COVID-19 infections currently being witnessed in the country. We take a break. We'll be back with more on NTV Weekend Edition.
When they flip and roll and start to crawl away, Tate diapers can be hard to put on. Then it's time for all-round Fit Pampers Pants. Easy to pull on even when they're moving around for a great fit and up to 12 hours of dryness. And easy to remove. Just tear the sides, lift away, roll up the pants, and you're all done.
A 2-piece pack now available at only 50 bob.
We've learned to savor the moments that were always there. And they never tasted this good.
Have you seen this beautiful place?
Mommy, what is Welcome to Garden of Joy?
Buy a value-added plot of land at the Garden of Joy off Kangundo Road that has solar street lights, elevated water tank, and guaranteed security. Deposit 700,000 and get 16K and your Istanbuzi is sorted. Call us on 0790 300 300.
What's your beautiful?
My essence and my energy. My natural glow and my confidence.
My beautiful is being me.
Reveal your beautiful this beauty month with amazing discounts of up to 30% off 400 ml Nivea body lotions in participating stores near you. Enjoy discounts galore with Nivea. Be you, be beautiful.
Health is wealth, and a healthy body works just like a machine. With many moving parts, it's all about what's inside. We like clockwork operations. Blending efficiency with quality has always been our drive. Every step of the way, our ambition is to achieve maximum health benefits out of our selection of maize and wheat flour. From our grain selection, sorting and processing, we produce the only toxin-safe flour, the first of its kind in Kenya, a nutritious flour that keeps your family rich. Because health is wealth. Exposure to aflatoxins is associated with an increased risk of cancer. Ajab is a certified toxin-safe flour.
What does it take to move a nation? It starts with a dream. A dream which gains momentum and becomes bigger and better and more audacious. What does it take to move a nation? It takes the commitment to innovate and invest in breakthrough technology, to build partnerships across the continent, to create connections to enable businesses to make their dreams a reality. What does it take to move a nation? It takes Sendi.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
I was in tourism.
When things get tough, the tough get going. Find out how Cowden's IoT found alternative means of survival in Arusha after losing her job due to COVID-19 pandemic. Things aren't better in the US, but how is Frehiwot Desta, a restaurant owner of Ethiopian origin, navigating through? On Kenya to the World, we feature Sud Watches, exporters of Kenyan branded watches. And on My Magical Kenya,
Lake Nakuru is one of the bird watchers' paradise.
My experience in Lake Nakuru National Park.
Standing tall at the heart of Tattoo City lies Lifestyle Heights, a prestigious property in a prime area. Contact us and come see us for an amazing open day on the 27th and 28th of March.
Questions are coming in with regard to the COVID containment measures announced by the president this afternoon. One of them being, if you're in the 5 counties, are you allowed to move within them? My understanding is yes, because it was classified as one zone, but I stand to be corrected. Away from COVID-19 and matters containment, investigations are underway to establish the true cause of a fire that continues to ravage Loldaiga Conservancy in Laikipia County. British soldiers that train in the area are on the spot for bragging about killing elephants in the fire. 5 met their deaths. Melita Oletenges reports on the response by the British High Commissioner and the Kenya Wildlife Service.
The raging fire at Loldaiga Conservancy, home to thousands of species of animals, has already consumed over 5,000 acres of vegetation. British troops, Kenyan soldiers and employees of the Conservancy are still battling the fast-spreading inferno. 3 helicopters, a crop sprayer and water trucks were deployed to try calm the blaze.
This is obviously absolutely devastating, and we're doing all we can to get the fire under control.
Initially, sections of foreign media reported that the fire could have been started by British soldiers as they cooked. However, reports have since emerged suggesting that multiple fires could have been started by explosive being used by the soldiers in training. There are also reports that up to 5 elephants could have been killed in the fires. Kenyan and British authorities have kept quiet over the cause of the fire and true extent of the damage, and journalists were barred from accessing the scene, with the authorities stating it is private property.
We're devastated by any negative impact on the local economy, on the local wildlife, but we need to wait for the fire to be put out before that can be investigated. So there are reports, but no confirmations yet of elephants or anything else being killed.
In a photo doing rounds on social media site Twitter, a British soldier appeared to brag that an elephant had been killed in an earlier fire started by soldiers. The statement and the soldier have now been subjected to investigations, according to the British High Commissioner.
I think that is outrageous, and I'm very disappointed that a British soldier would post that. It is being investigated.
The Kenya Wildlife Service has, however, said that rangers on the ground were yet to locate any carcasses of elephants in the areas where the fire had been put out. As the wildfire continues to ravage thousands of acres at the Loldaiga Conservancy, wildlife species are threatened. However, barring the media from accessing the site raises concerns as to why authorities are sifting information, leaving members of the public with more questions than answers. Melita Oletenges, NTV, Laikipia County.
More questions than answers is right. Melita Oletenges in his report saying reports of 5 elephants having been killed in the fire are unverified as yet. So like everybody else, we await the outcome of investigations. Over 700,000 candidates were put to the test today as the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education exams kicked off amidst the coronavirus pandemic. The exams got off to a largely smooth start, with the government denying reports of exam leakage. Rose Wangoi with more.
In Kisii County, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha supervised the opening of an examination container and the distribution of KCSE exam papers to various centers across the county. According to the CS, enough measures have been put in place to ensure the integrity of the exams is not compromised. Magoha dismissed any reports of leakage.
The government has enough forces to deploy to the examination process. The government also has money to spend to ensure that our children get credible examination.
The day began with the English Functional Skills Test at 8 a.m. and later English Comprehension, Literary Appreciation and Grammar Test in the afternoon. For dozens of candidates, however, the exams are being sat in labor wards. A candidate from Babadogo Secondary School sat her exam at Rafa Afia Hospital after giving birth to a baby girl last evening. She was put to the test under the supervision of an invigilator and a police officer.
She has already done 2 papers, and we thank the necessary stakeholders for making this possible.
In Nyeri County, 2 candidates will have to write the exams in hospital after one candidate developed labor pains on Thursday, while another had maternity complications. A multi-agency team, among them the TSC Director, Quality Assurance Team and Deputy County Commissioner, led other education stakeholders to open up containers with exam papers in Tarbo Sub-County, Uasin Gishu, this morning. The county has slightly over 17,000 candidates spread across 239 examination centers.
The center managers return their answer script to the containers. They will also come with the statistics indicating who was absent among the boys and girls.
The candidates will take a weekend rest and sit the mathematics and chemistry papers on Monday. Rozongoi, NTV.
Across our borders, the late President John Pombe Magufuli has been laid to rest in his home of Chato in northwestern Tanzania. His body arrived at the Rubambagwe Stadium, where a military send-off and requiem mass were held.
Tanzania's 5th President John Magufuli was finally laid to rest in his hometown of Chato, northwest Tanzania. The farewell ceremony included a requiem mass and a 21-gun salute. President Samia Suluhu Hassan and ex-presidents Ali Hassan Mwinyi and Jakaya Kikwete were some of the many who attended to pay their last respects.
Mara ya kwanza nilikuwa Chato kwa kampeni mwaka 2015. Mara ya pili nilikuwa Chato kuja kumfariji kaka yetu Rais Magufuli wakati ule alipoondokewa na dada yetu. Tulikuwa hapa Chato, na wakati tuko hapa tulikuwa naye siku nzima pamoja na viongozi wengine, na labda nilidhani nitarudi Chato kwa mara nyingine nimkute mwenyeji wangu yupo Chato, anipokee na kunikarimu kama alivyofanya mara ya mwisho nilipokuwa naye hapa. Lakini kinyume chake, leo hii tumekuja Chato kwa madhumuni ya kumuhitimisha kiongozi wetu.
Mimi na mpendwa wetu Dr. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli tumetoka mbali. Tumefahamiana tukiwa mawaziri kwa kipindi cha miaka 10 chini ya uongozi wa Rais Mkapa, na tukawa marafiki toka wakati ule. Alikuwa waziri wangu kwa miaka 10 nikiwa rais. Kwa vile alikuwa mtani wangu, yeye ndiye waziri pekee aliyeweza kunitania kila tulipokutana. Wengine walikuwa hawawezi.
This past week has seen Magufuli's coffin transported to 6 cities across Tanzania to allow people to pay their last respects. Magufuli died on the 17th of March 2021 from heart complications at Mzena Hospital. Before then, he had not been seen for almost 3 weeks, with rumors from the opposition claiming he had contracted COVID-19. It is the first time in 60 years of independence that Tanzania has lost a sitting president. Anita Nkonge, NTV.
After more than a week of mourning, Tanzania has finally laid their Baba to rest. And on Wednesday last week, Magufuli was not the only person of note to succumb to a heart condition. Former Nation Media Group journalist Winnie Mukami has been laid to rest at her rural home in Kiamuturi, Mavioya constituency, Murang'a County. Winnie, who previously worked with NTV as a news anchor, passed away after contracting COVID-19. She became a household name in 2003 when she began anchoring NTV News when the station was launched. Later, Winnie founded her own public relations firm, Winners Frontiers International Limited. Martin Mora attended the burial.
God must need another angel around the throne tonight.
It was an emotional funeral service
attended by mourners who braved the chilly weather at the slopes of the Aberdare forest to give Winnie Mukami a befitting send-off.
Mukami held my hand and encouraged me even as she ventured into public relations and consultancy. She was one of the smartest, most creative people I know, and her achievements can attest to this.
Mungu anajua kwa nini kachukua dada yetu, mzuri kwa roho, mzuri kwa kazi, mzuri kwa ukarimu, nyakati hii ndogo katika maisha yake.
I know heaven is celebrating as we speak because they have received an angel, a girl who was loved by many, a girl who worked tirelessly, effortlessly.
Her bereaved family say they have been robbed of a loving, hardworking daughter.
She was a person who was there to serve the nation. Even a time when we could not see her among us during our meetings, we did not know what Mukami was doing outside there. She was really a national hero.
The wonderful moments you shared with us, from the day you were born, your spirit will be within me to share with the world. Till we meet again, fare thee well, my daughter Winnie.
We will always love you. Rest in peace.
You have been a bright star. It's impossible to quantify your devotion to God and your dedication to perfect details in anything you handled.
Winnie, who was appointed to the board of Kenya Pipeline Company for 3 years in 2018, succumbed to COVID-19.
Na kamati yangu tunashikania pamoja na ministry kuona ya kwamba wale ambao wanaitwa frontline health workers wakimaliziwa, we will also avail it to the rest of the public. Anyone who is willing to get the vaccine, and it is safe.
Your love lives on inside of me, and I will hold on tight. It's not my place to question, only God knows why.
Martin Mora, NTV, Murang'a County.
Sing hallelujah.
I don't know what I could add to those heartfelt tributes except to wish her family the peace of God. We take a break. We'll be back shortly.
This looks different.
It is. See for yourself.
Okay, so it's a photo.
Look closer. Photos within photos.
What about video?
8K video. Beyond cinema quality.
So...
You can pull portrait quality photos straight from video.
But will it last the whole trip?
Battery for the whole trip and the way back.
This is different.
Told you.
Sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Breaking news from Molfix. Let's see what they're developing right now.
Molfix pants with anatomic fit technology. New Molfix pants, an invention from babies for babies.
You should also try Molfix.
With the Stay Soft refill, saving money is as easy as snip, pour, mix with water and shake. Stay Soft refill. It's 2 liters of Stay Soft for up to 30% less.
Disinfect and protect your home with Jik. Jik kills 99.9% of illness-causing germs. Disinfect floors, kitchen and bathroom surfaces, and wash white clothes, towels, and dishcloths with Jik bleach. Just Jik it.
Nunua ofa kama Credo Dabo na tunukiwa minutes ili uendelee kuongea zaidi na upate zawadi kutoka Safaricom.
Mimi naitwa Justina Siokao aka Madam 2020. Nakaa hapa Machakos. Mimi natumia huduma ya Safaricom ya tunukiwa. Ofa ambayo nanunua ya tunukiwa ni ya Credo Dabo. Na inunua kupitia kwa star 44#. Inanisaidia kwa sababu ni affordable na sipimiwi kupigia mashambiki wakati ninaweka wimbo mpya. Hivyo ndo tumeweza kupeleka nyimbo zangu viral na zina trend zaidi. Hiyo credit ndo ile.
Wakenya wengi wanaendelea kuzawadika kila siku kwa kutumia tunukiwa na wanapata extra juu ya extra. Piga star 444# ili utunukiwe leo. NTV Business News in association with Sendy.
A world of possibilities has opened up for Kenyans following Safaricom's launch of 5G. The company has initiated a trial for 5G for its individual and enterprise customers in Nairobi, Kisumu, Kisii, and Kakamega. Alex Mwangi witnessed the launch of the ultra-high-speed network and compiled this report.
Will be on 5G-enabled devices.
Safaricom's two-decade journey to the eventual launch of 5G is one that has had its fair share of challenges, but is largely marked by huge successes.
In 2000, we launched Safaricom with 2G, and there's small Nokia phones. If Nokia, remember those phones that we had here? That's all we had, by the way, at the time. And then within 3 years, we had 1 million customers, and shortly after that, we launched data. And I remember somebody telling me that, GPRS, said, that's good enough for Kenya.
Over the past 5 years, we've consistently invested $350 million, that's about 35 billion annually, on expanding our infrastructure. This has grown our network with 3G currently at 94%, and now we are about 92% on 4G, and our commitment is to have up to 100% by the end of the year.
Kenya has become the second country in Africa after South Africa to have 5G installed. Safaricom's 5G network has joined 105 others globally, opening the door for Kenyans to a raft of possibilities.
The entry of 5G will enhance these use cases to enabling deployment of advanced digital technologies, and you see some of them today, such as virtual reality, cloud gaming, autonomous drones, industrial automation, and a wide range of IoT devices.
Through the 5G network, it will be possible to deliver medical needs. And once this technology is rolled out across the country, our medical practitioners can collaborate with renowned global specialists to offer world-class services, driving us a step closer towards achieving the universal healthcare.
The deployment of the 5G network in different parts of the globe has seen a clash of egos between the world's superpowers, with the United States seeking to stop the installation of Chinese 5G equipment in the Western world on fears of espionage. Within conspiracy circles, the 5G network has also been associated with COVID-19.
I also hasten to assure Kenyans that the technology is safe, as the 5G standards have been developed through rigorous processes at the International Telecommunications Union and other relevant UN and global standard-setting agencies in partnership with industry, some of whom are gathered here today.
The capabilities of 5G are difficult to explain in plain terms to the layman, but that they are immense is not in doubt.
It's okay to have this technology, but what will it bring? And how will it bring some benefits to the ordinary man in the street?
Nokia and Huawei have provided Safaricom with the infrastructure to make 5G a reality. Alex Mwangi, NTV.
So does that mean you can stream NTV Weekend Edition even faster? Well, I certainly hope so. The board of Scan Group has appointed Winifred Nyagoha Jumba as the company secretary and sent home Ruben Mwangi in yet another example of the turmoil engulfing the leadership of the company. Last month, the board suspended long-serving chief executive Bharat Thakrar, who founded the company, as well as Satya Bharat Das, the chief financial officer. Earlier this week, Thakrar tendered his resignation as CEO and a board member to the board. He also resigned from his position as a director in the company's subsidiaries and affiliates, and the board has appointed Alec Graham as the interim CEO as it commences the recruitment process. The Kenya Revenue Authority, that means those were not the only changes, I should say, to management. The Kenya Revenue Authority has appointed Lilian Anyango Nyawanda as its new Commissioner for Customs and Border Control, and Dr. Edward Kinyua Karanja as a Commissioner for Investigation and Enforcement. Until her appointment, Nyawanda served as the Customs and Excise Manager of Africa region at the Diageo Center of Excellence, overseeing the customs governance, risk management, and international trade operations. She replaces Pamela Ahago, who has been in acting capacity. Dr. Karanja, who has been the acting Commissioner of Investigation and Enforcement, now substantially replaces David Yego. Kerry says the two will play a key role in spearheading and sustaining revenue mobilization. That's it for the business, but Feel Good Friday coming up on the other side of this break.
NTV Business News in association with Sendy.
What does it take to move a nation? It takes Sendy.
Malaria ni ugonjwa hatari sana unaoua watu wengi hapa Kenya. Japo kuko na corona, hatari ya malaria bado iko. Mtoto huyu alikuwa na joto jingi, kutetemeka, kuumwa na viungo na uchovu. Alikimbizwa hospitali ya umma ambako sheria za COVID-19 huzingatiwa na ni salama kwa shughuli ya upimaji. Vipimo vilionyesha kuwa ana malaria, na papo hapo daktari akampa dawa za malaria na kumshauri azimalize, na ili kujikinga wawe wakilala ndani ya neti iliyotibiwa. Malaria husambazwa na mbu. Walio hatarini ni watoto wa chini ya miaka 5 na akina mama wajawazito. Kupimwa na kutibiwa ni bure katika hospitali zote za umma. Usisahau adui malaria. Zero malaria huanza na mimi. Chukua jukumu leo. Komesha malaria. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na Wizara ya Afya.
Selena! Don't get puzzled. She's my twin. I shine your toilet. And I bathroom. So, is your bathroom clean?
Yes! Presenting the new Harpic Bathroom Cleaner. Compared to ordinary detergents, its thick formulation gives you superior cleaning and kills 99.9% of germs and viruses all around the bathroom. Blue for the toilet.
And red
for the bathroom.
Harpic Bathroom and Toilet Cleaner cleans and kills 99.9% of germs and viruses.
At the first sign of pain, you need a solution that you can trust to provide effective relief and is gentle on the stomach. Try Panadol Advance for relief from headaches, body aches, and fever. With Panadol's Optizorb formula, the tablet gently breaks down in the stomach, quickly absorbs, and starts providing pain relief in 15 minutes. For fast and effective pain relief that you can trust, try Panadol Advance. This has been Medifax for Panadol.
Standing tall at the heart of Tattoo City lies Lifestyle Heights, a prestigious property in a prime area offering you spacious 2- and 3-bedroom and 3-bedroom plus DSQ apartments. With state-of-the-art amenities, Lifestyle Heights offers you constant water supply, round-the-clock security, green and open spaces such as the pergolas and kids play area, lifts, among many other amenities. Contact us and come see us for an amazing open day on the 27th and 28th of March.
Thank you. Thank you for staying with us on NTV Weekend Edition. It's a party up in here, I have to be honest. From NASA being NASWAD in their power play to the humbling experience of moving from club to police cell and the love story on the ground. Then in Suluhuland, translation fell apart at John Pombe Magufuli's funeral. Sydney Chazima engages your funny bone, and tonight the phrase of the week is falling apart.
Another round of knockout at the Senate.
Senator Cleophas Malala, MP, stands removed from the office of the Deputy Senate Minority Leader.
Cleophas Malala, as some would say, it has bited itself each other. Are things falling apart or Malala halali? Sir, tell us, what is the genesis of your predicament?
What triggered this decision today is basically the Matungu by-election.
Turns out the coffee in Matungu is no longer sweet and MaDVD has a name for it.
Mimi sikujua kwamba kumbe Matungu ilikuwa kama kahawatungu.
Safe to say the coffee in Matungu slaps different?
Unfortunately, we outshined them in the just concluded by-elections, and I believe they were not happy with me.
NASA is being naswad by their siasa, taking digs at each other with their farm stands. Speaking of politicians and farms,
Mandako ingia line Mandako. Mandako mbele tukatai. Chelalge ingasa.
Yani you are calling waheshimiwa ng'ombe?
Chelalge tena bado.
More and more. They flout the COVID-19 rules from their high to coming down a government lorry. They were partying and drowning their sorrows plus the COVID-19 containment rules. This is their punishment. Community service. Their parting plans ended up falling apart. Community service for all. But for this fella, his plans are not falling apart. He seems to be working on starting his own community. It was an opportunity to give his pickup lines some service. Imagine what the conversation went like. You brighten my days, more than this unfiltered sun. She giggled and replied, Aki wewe, let us sweep. Enemes watatumes. He replied, Enemes ometupatia permit. So permit me to sweep my way into your heart. And just like that, someone's daughter was swept off her feet, and even Shosho has just the soundtrack to this puppy love story.
You are happy, Edino, grab your happy. You are happy, Edino, then you swallow it to show. You are happy, Edino, grab your happy. Glory to Jesus.
And they say, what Jesus has put together, let no man tear apart. But here, what man put together in a speech was torn apart in translation.
He didn't like traveling very much. He preferred to stay here at home.
Nilijisikia kuheshimiwa sana kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Magufuli alikuwa ni mtu imara mwenye upendo ambaye alipenda pia kusikiliza na kuweza kutoa mwongozo kwa wenzake.
Ha! Things fell apart. Sir, what do you make of this?
This problem has exacerbated gigantically like a fungal disease I can call sporotrichosis. We are there to expostulate against that idiosyncrasy or modus operandi.
What?
We're gonna shake it, the whole nation. We're gonna do it.
Again, what? I'm gonna go now, before I even fall apart. Sydney Chazima, NTV.
Lots of singing and dancing on the Feel Good Friday and on NTV. There is a safe way to party, and that is on NTV. The trend is coming up in a little bit, but first the sports news. And Sydney, mbono luko nachomeo jamea. Alikuwa narusha lines, no kwa tuna. Anyway, it's alright. If you don't want to get caught doing community service, as I said, keep it NTV. We take a break. I Dawaringa with the sports news next.